But let's get back to today, shall we? Yep, it's another version of Wall to Wall Country, and another great artist is on the docket right now. We're so happy to have on board another brand new artist, new and upcoming into the world of the country music industry, and his name is Blaise Streets. Hi, Blaise. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Casey?
I am doing mighty fine, mighty fine.
Mighty fine.
Yeah. So I am so excited about having you on. You've got some great music out there. We're going to talk about your music. We're going to play some of your songs.
That sounds great.
Let people hear what you sound like and what you're doing. But I always like to start it off, especially when it's an artist I haven't had on the show before, a little bit about you, a little bit about your background, a little bit where you came from, and how the heck you got into the position that you're at right now. So why don't you go ahead and share that with my listening audience a little bit, Blaise. Would love to hear it.
All right, then. Well, I started out, my twin brother, Blair, left for the Air Force.
Okay.
So when he left, I went to the airport and watched him leave, and went home and was kind of crying my eyes out, and sat down and wrote some lyrics out and come up with a melody. And I sang it to my mom. She said, "That's really good. You know, that's the first song I ever wrote." And I said, "Well, I want to put some music to it." So I have no way of putting music to it. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to learn how to play guitar. So I grab this old Johnson guitar that's sitting in the corner. It's got dust all over it. The action on it is terrible. I didn't know any difference. And my dad bought me a chord book back when I was like in 12 years old, but I just never learned. And I was 21 at the time.
Wow.
I went in the room, and I told my friend, I said, "Hey, I'm going to learn how to play this." And she was like, "Cool." You know, it was actually her guitar. And she was like, "Yeah, you can use it as long as you want." So she kind of just gave it to me. I actually still have it to this day. But I just started playing the guitar and became obsessed with it, and got an old crappy PV electric guitar. So I play acoustic guitar during the day, and I play the electric guitar at night, so I wouldn't wake my parents up while they were sleeping. And that's kind of how I got started with playing music. And I started taking lessons 4 months later, and my guitar teacher at the time heard me sing, and he's like, "I really like your voice," and he seen my progression, how quickly I was picking everything up. And, we started a little group. We played twice a month at Kingfish down off the Ohio River.
Nice.
And at the time, I worked at a factory, and everybody from the factory come see me play. And I auditioned for American Idol.
Wow.
Like just maybe a month after that.
Okay.
And I made it to like round to the judges, I would say. And then I just kind of choked. And but that got people, you know, encouraging what I was doing. And it was really neat. And I went through a breakup about 1.5 years ago, 2 years or something, whatever. It's going to be 2 years in June, actually. And I only had that one song that I didn't have music to, but now I've got about 20 songs that I have music to every one of them. So that's how I got. That's a long story short on that.
That's pretty.
On the whole music.
But that's pretty interesting. When you were on American Idol, who were the judges? What year was it?
It was Keith Urban.
Oh, nice.
Nicki Minaj.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Randy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was a tough year for me to watch it. I didn't like the arguing all the time, but
yeah, I don't ever watch TV, so I wouldn't have watched it even if I was on it.
Well, you know, I'm a fan of the show. I'm a fan of that one more than I am of like The Voice and some of the other ones. And I'm kind of glad they nipped that. You know, they didn't come back with the second year with those guys, because I think it's supposed to be more about the artists. It's supposed to be more about you guys. You know, you're the ones,
right? You
know, getting up in front and trying to keep the nerves in check. And you know, when you get that far that you're in front of those judges, the last thing in the world you want is freaking drama coming from them. You know what I'm saying? Jeez.
Oh, that's for sure.
You know,
man, I when I went up there, I mean, my heart was just racing. I mean, I couldn't shut it down. It was almost like an out-of-body experience. And then I left there, and I knew I did like terrible, and I'm like, what did I just do? You know, and honestly, I thought my career was just over. but I had no clue that a few months later I'd be writing all these songs. So, kind of cool how that worked out.
Well, I mean, maybe there was a reason, for you to get there. Maybe that was the shot in the arm you needed. I mean, who knows? What would have come of it if you would have gone a little bit further. I mean, you hear about some of the artists, if they win American Idol, they go on to be, some pretty big icons. But there's other artists that have won that I've never heard from them again. I don't know what happened to them. And then, there's
exactly right.
There's other artists that got weeded out here or there or whatever round it was. And next thing you know, they're popping up. So it's probably more, and I would think that either you can or cannot agree with me on this. It's the determination of the person who wants to be the artist.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
don't.
Exactly right.
You may not need that recognition. Oh, I won American Idol in 2001. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
right.
it's your dedication and it's your work that's going to get you somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
That's exactly right.
Would you recommend artists who are considering going on one of those big shows to try it, or is it something that they should just not? What's your take on it?
I'd say try anything. I mean, just even if it's all about the experience in it.
Right.
And for me, like you said, it was a kick in the butt saying, hey, this is just the start of something great. And, it could be great for somebody and it could be terrible for somebody. It just depends on how, like you said, dedicated they are to the craft.
And it takes. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I've heard from a lot of artists that it does take a lot of work. I mean, this is not something that you're going to go at half-heartedly. You really got to want it, right?
Right. Well, like, I got to a point, just a couple months ago, where I actually quit my job and I did everything. I actually lived in a van for 6 months, just traveling the country playing shows, and I lived in the Walmart parking lot. So I mean, it goes to a degree where you just got to realize where you want to go with it and how much time you really want to put into this.
And so let me ask you this: has your twin brother come back from the
He's
service?
actually in Kuwait right now.
Okay. And how does he feel about this whole thing? That, like, I guess in a way you could say, "Hey, bro, it's all your fault that I'm involved in this stuff because I wrote a song."
Mm-hmm.
What does he feel?
Well, he wrote this poem back in high school. I guess it's a paper poem, whatever you want to call it, and. It was kind of the inspiration of me writing the song. It was talking about how I was his hero because I did all these shows in high school, theater shows, and I was always the main character, and that led into a scholarship in college for theater. So that kind of him saying I was his hero, and then him doing what he really wanted to do against all the odds of everyone saying, hey, I don't want you joining. I don't want you doing this. Mm-hmm. And he kept repeating to me, he said, if it weren't for people like me, we wouldn't be free.
Right.
So, and that's the start of the chorus to that song, and it just really inspired me. And he's super proud of me. Every time he's home, he comes to the shows when he can. He's got 2 kids now, so it's hard to get out of the house. They're both just babies. So
nice. So that's is that song? Are you performing that song, or is it just something that's you kind of have between you and your brother?
I do it every now and then. Like I used to do it every show back when I first started, and now I still don't have music to it. So if somebody requests I do it, I just go ahead and break out into it. Mm-hmm. But pretty much every show I play, because somebody wants to hear it. So, which is really cool.
Nice. Maybe you should consider getting a cut on one of your CDs.
Huh. I might do that, but I just I got to figure out the music for it, or get a producer that has a good vision for it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go. You got a little something on your bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
For sure.
And that's pretty cool. I mean, I think some of the best songs out there are the best songs because they've got the best stories. And, you know, and I have this conversation with a lot of my artists. It's like one thing, you know, when an artist puts out a song and it's a song and everybody likes the song and they know the words and they like the song and they listen to it in their car and da-da-da-da-da. And then I have the opportunity to talk to them and you find out where the song came from, what it means, why you wrote the song. And I think all of a sudden that song that everybody knew and loved can love it just that much more because now they're like, oh, okay. Because people, I think, take a song and they want to put it to their own life first. They don't necessarily go, oh, I wonder what this guy was doing when he wrote this song. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And
I know exactly what you mean.
You know, having that background knowledge of a song, you know, they can kind of like see it in two different visions. Your vision as well as their vision, but seeing it in your vision is really, really cool. Now, you wrote all the songs on your album, your CD that you're going to have out?
I wrote every one of them, and the rest of the 15 that I have. So, I actually did my first co-write yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It was with he plays rock and roll, so his name was Isaac.
Okay.
And it was an interesting song. I didn't sing or anything on it; just helped him with the chord progression. But that's the first time I ever had co-wrote with anyone, though.
That's really cool. Do you have a name for the album, or is it the?
It's gonna be this first one's gonna be self-titled.
Okay. And that's gonna.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
I originally wanted to call it "Hold On Tight," just because. I mean, as we all know, in this industry, you just gotta hold on tight and just be true to yourself. In the end, that's kind of where I was going with the title, and then they told me to self-title it, and I agreed with them. So that's why I'm going to do it that way.
That's awesome. So this is a self-titled EP. Now, your single is going to be released on May 18th, but the full 5-track EP is coming out in June.
Right, the end of June.
Okay. And if they want to get their hands on any of these songs, we're going to play 3 of them. If they want to get their hands on any of these songs, are you a Facebooker, or you got a good website going on? How can people find you, Blaise?
I've got a website actually going up later today.
Okay.
Today's the launch date. It's Blaise Streets Official, and it's spelled Blaise, streets like the road, official.com, and that'll be up today, and we'll put the music up on there, as well with Bring On the Sunshine being the single coming out May 18th. And we also have other merch that will be posted on there as well. Okay,
so that's good to know. So if they're trying to find you, you know, as we speak, they just need to wait a little bit. But your Facebook page is up, right? You got a Facebook and a Twitter page and all that?
Find me on Facebook.
Okay.
Blaise Streets, BlaiseStreets, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well.
Yeah, nice. And I'm looking forward to hearing all the music myself. And I know that I can do a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I know when the CD is out, your PR folks are planning on shipping me a couple of them. So if anybody's interested, you know, be patient, and they might be able to get one of them for free.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it indeed. And, you know, I mean, and that's kind of cool. But you can find him. Are you the guy who answers the tweets and the posts on Facebook?
It depends on how busy I am.
Okay.
If I need somebody else to do it, I'll they'll run it by me.
Okay.
Everything they run it by me, and I'm usually the voice of it, but not all the time. The actual person that types it.
Right.
So.
Right. So you just played at the Whiskey Ryman Saloon last night.
That was a very last-minute show. We just came down here. What did we come down here for? I don't know. But but it was a very last-minute show, and I played for an hour up there, and then I'm playing again on Saturday there.
I saw.
They're here in Nashville. I keep saying there because it's right across the street. But yeah, it was a pretty cool show, and a good little crowd for, is it what do you call it? What was it yesterday? Cinco de Mayo?
Cinco de Mayo, yeah.
I can never say it right.
Me neither. I'm not sure I really understand the whole thing anyway, but that's okay.
To be honest, this is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Oh, my. Well, I've heard of it before. I just didn't. I know it's, anything that has to do with drinking, that's all I need to know. It has to do with drinking? Okay, let's celebrate.
Right.
I don't care what you want to call it. You can call it anything you want. Just
whatever.
Give me a beer.
Having fun. Okay, good.
Awesome. So, and you've got a schedule coming up. People can find you here and there, doing some festivals and things like that this summer, Blaise?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should. Everything should be posted on the website and also on Facebook and Instagram. I don't really put that kind of stuff on there.
Okay.
More or less me being goofy and doing a cover video every now and then. So.
And Twitter? Do you?
Twitter. To be honest, I don't ever look at that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. It's good to know. So people are trying to find you, especially if they're trying the website and they're like, how come it's not working? It's not working. I can't get anywhere. Facebook.
Right.
Facebook might be a good way to communicate with you for at least a little bit until everything gets up and working for you.
Right.
And
it should be up. Within a few hours, be on.
That's awesome. So, well, I will make sure I mention that.
We've been working on it for a few weeks. Go ahead.
I'm going to mention that at the end of my show as well, and the link is on my page. As a matter of fact, I was questioning it as well, and they're like, we're working on it, we're working on it. I'm like, okay, I get it. So, we'll make sure that everybody knows that they can keep checking back on that. And soon it will be working, and they'll be able to find out where you're performing and stuff like that. But speaking of performing, I want to touch base with you about something, and I want to play a couple of your tunes. But we need to take a quick break here, Blaise, for just a minute. Can you hang on for me?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with more Blaise Streets. We've got some of his music we want to play for you. We're going to talk to him a little bit about how he rubbed some elbows with some big guns. That's coming up in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We still have more to come on Penn's Peak Radio and Wall to Wall Country. And we're back with Blaise Streets, a Southern Indiana native, getting some inspiration from people like Brad Paisley and Elvis Presley, doing some festivals and things like that, getting out there, and got some great music going on. Blaise, tell us about a performance you recently had the opportunity to open for a couple of big guns. How did that all come about?
Okay. Well, I've opened up for a few artists. My first opener was Parmalee. Nice. That was over in 4th Street in Louisville. Mm-hmm. And that came about just, he asked me to do it, and I said, all right, let's do it. and it's kind of how when I opened up for Gary Allen, that's kind of how the same situation happened. I was like, all right, let's do it. So we did it, and good crowd, and it built the fan base up, and it was fun.
Nice.
It was loud, that's for sure.
Wow.
Most of them were acoustic shows, or no electric instruments.
Okay.
Or played, but it was still neat to stand on the same stage as those guys.
Nice, nice. And you've also played places like Churchill Downs and the Kentucky State Fair and the French Lick Resort and Casino. So you've got you're getting some fan base out there by playing some places like that, some venues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we played the shows like that in the past. Actually, in November, we're going to be opening up for Shenandoah in Elizabethtown at the Great Historic Theater there. Nice. So I'm pretty excited to open up for those guys. Currently, I'm doing acoustic shows, and my mom comes and sings harmony with me.
Aww.
So she'll be performing with me during that show. And also, my girlfriend's dad's going to be playing guitar, lead guitar. So that's going to be kind of neat to involve them in it and kind of share that experience all together.
Well, that sounds like it'll be a great show. And again, once you guys can get through to his website, you'll be able to get some dates and times and things like that when all these things are happening. Blaise, let's get back to your music a little bit because we want to get some songs in here. Now, your single that you have out, Bring on the Sunshine, that we are going to play at the end of the show and give everybody that a listen. But you want to tell us a little bit about that song? Why that song? Tell us a little history on that one.
Okay. Bring on the Sunshine was actually a simple story. We had a terrible winter, and the first day the sunshine came out, I worked pest control at the time. I just got off work at the pest control job, and I was like, finally, some sunshine, and then I pulled into the music store, and I'm like, I had that melody that the chorus is, Bring On the Sunshine, and so I just grabbed a guitar and sat down in that music store there and wrote it. And that's what the whole song's about. It's actually, I based it off of out of my backyard.
Uh-huh.
I've got a 3-acre lake in the backyard, and a dog, and some boats, and we always go out there and just jump in the water and swim. I love to go rowboating, and I sometimes I just do that just for the fun of it. Just go out there by myself and just to get away for a minute.
Yeah.
So Bring On the Sunshine is all around. It's a summer song. It's a lot of fun. It puts me in a good mood. Even when I was listening to the rough tracks of it, I mean, I just listened to it over and over and over and over again, just because I just loved the way it made me feel.
We're going to close out the show with that one, and that's a good one for today because up here in Pennsylvania, it's a little cloudy, and it's been a little.
Right. You need to bring the sunshine.
Yeah, it's been a little cloudy and a little drizzly today, so we're going to end the show with that. And tomorrow is definitely supposed to be a sunnier and nicer day. So, yeah, we're going to bring on the sunshine. So make sure you're listening for that from Blaise Streets at the end of my show today. But let's play one of your other songs. I think one of the ones that we were talking about features a little something called Resist.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that one about?
Actually, Resist is written from a different point of view than the listener is going to hear. It's actually written from my point of view, and how when I started doing bigger shows like Churchill Downs, French Lake Casino, it was all these women just, and I was single at the time. It was all these women just coming up to me, and I'd get off stage and they just like grab my butt, and so I wrote it from that point of view of, am I ever going to find someone that really cares about me? Where all they see is the musician in the singer in me, and so that's the one thing they can't resist. So I wrote it from that perspective, and the bridge of it is you burn like fire and you melt like wax. Throw H2O at the top of your hat and you're gone. I wrote that. That's a reference to Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay.
As in the wickedness, the only way to kill the wickedness is to throw water on it and wash it away. So that's just it's a kind of a deep meaning for me. Other people might get their own meaning of it, but it's just how they interpret it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to play that, and we're going to let people give it a listen and see what their interpretation of it is. We're going to play the bottom of the ID, and then we're going to be back with some Blaise Street, a little bit more. We've got another tune we want to feature. You can hang in there for a few more minutes yet, Blaise?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool, awesome. Well, he's going to be back in just a minute, and we're also going to play his song off of his EP. Now, remember, guys, this EP is going to be self-titled. The whole 5-track EP is going to be released in June. So make sure you're hanging out with him with his website that's going to get launched today, or on Facebook. And remember, coming up in a week or two, shortly after, around in there, we might have some free CDs for you. So if you like this tune, you might be able to get your hands on some free music right here on Wall to Wall Country. But gotta take a break. Back with some Blaise Streets and his little tune called Resist. Give it a listen.
1, 2, 1.
Lost in your eyes, caught for the night, stuck inside your key. can't let go. Well, you burn like fire and you melt like wax. Throw H2O at the top of your hat and you're gone. And you're gone. And you're gone. And you're gone. Got the prettiest eyes I've ever seen. Bluish green or somewhere in between. Your lips, your hips at my fingertips. I fall in love all over again. Resist. Lost in your eyes, calling for the night.
Blaise Streets, ladies and gentlemen. A little something called Resist. And that's brand new music right here on Wall to Wall Country. And wow, that's got an interesting sound to it, Blaise. Very, very different. Not really expected. And it's kind of eerie. It's almost like do 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 do. It's kind of eerie the way the guitar is on there. I'm like, ooh, scary.
It's kind of scary.
I like it
I
though.
actually want to pitch that to movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm kind of going with that song. Just because I'd like to actually get into, and this is later on down the road, actually get into acting and TV shows and movies, just stuff like that. But I think it might be a good way to break into it too.
But you went to school for some of that, right? For acting and and for entertainment.
Yeah, I had a scholarship for theater, so and I was in like 2 or 3 plays at one time.
Yeah.
So
wow,
it was kind of crazy.
That's pretty cool. No, yeah, I think that's a good one. I like it. I think if you find the right show for it, that would be an awesome tune to be playing while like the front of the show's, getting ready and all geared out. I like it. It's different. It was definitely a little bit different, different than what I was expecting for the story that you told. But it was kind of like stalker music.
A little bit, yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
So.
It was good. It was good.
That's why I said that's up to everyone's interpretation of it. So
yeah,
I kind of wanted. I wrote that around Halloween.
Ah.
So
it comes out.
Yeah.
It definitely
so
comes
that
out.
Kind of. I think it might have been Halloween when I wrote it. So it was right around there. So.
Have you had a stalker?
Have I had a stalker?
Yeah.
No. Something I can think of.
Well, you said all these women are grabbing your butt and stuff. I thought, well, maybe one of them's stalking you a little bit.
They were. I mean, it was like, well, I had to get to a point where I used to be able to like go out into the audience and kind of hang out with everybody after the show, and everything was chill, laid back. But I got to a point where I had to play the show and then literally do like a meet and greet and go home. Because it got to be that kind of crazy for a little while.
Yeah. Well, you're only getting.
Well, I guess I did have stalkers at my show. So,
yeah.
In a way.
Well,
so, but I can't really say stalkers. But
yeah. But you're only getting started, so keep the good attitude because it might get a little crazy on the ride.
No, yeah. It's gonna get a little wild. So.
So it kind of brings me to the next song that, stalking is wrong. It's just wrong.
It is wrong.
It is wrong. So don't anybody get any crazy ideas out there. Don't be stalking Blaise. He sounds like a nice guy, and he's got a girlfriend. Don't be stalking a poor guy. Scare him off.
That's awesome.
But so my next thought is where does wrong come from? I'm very curious to hear the story about that one, because we want to play that one before I let you go.
Okay. Wrong is actually a song. It comes from two perspectives.
Okay.
Okay. You can look at it as in a breakup situation, or you can look at it in a death situation.
Okay.
Because in the end, you're probably not going to talk to that person anymore. So when I went through my breakup, it was almost like she died.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a difficult way. So, and I didn't know what I was going to do now that she left, and we were together 8 years.
Wow.
And so it was that's the story kind of behind that, and the song kind of will tell the rest of the story. I just was almost in a point of shutdown. I didn't talk to anybody for 2 or 3 weeks after all that happened, and I just sat down and wrote this song, Wrong.
Well, I'm sorry for that. For your loss there. That sounds really brutal. But sometimes that's
what? The song came out of it. So
right.
And a ton of other songs came out of it too. So.
Yeah, and it put you on the path where you are now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of one of those things. You got to be you got to kind of turn a negative into a positive, and it sounds like that's what you're trying to do. And you're doing some music, and you got a new life going on, and writing some great music. And sometimes tragedy is what makes it happen.
That's exactly right.
So that's really cool.
You got to move on from it. Just how you do it. It's how you handle it.
Right.
So.
Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce this song for us, Blaise, and we'll give this one a listen. Go right ahead and do that.
This next song's called Wrong. Hope you guys like it.
Well, I've been crying while my heart is slowly dying. Thinking about you kills me every day. And the good times keep running through my mind. It's a shame we left them all behind. And I don't know what I'm gonna do now that you're gone. The words you said, darling, I love you. It turns out, baby, we're all wrong. It's wrong for me. It's wrong for you. Said goodbye and now we're through. You walked away out of my life. You slammed the door and you said goodbye. And I don't know what I'm gonna do now that you're gone. The words you said, darling, I love you. It turns out, baby, we're all wrong. Wrong for me and you. After all that we've been through.
on Wall to Wall Country with me, Casey, on Penn Speak Radio. And I see that one as being a big radio hit for you, Blaise. I like it. I liked it a lot.
Thank you.
I really did. I think that one's definitely going to be one of those that is just going to touch people's hearts and really make an impression when that thing hits radio, and your fans are going to love it. Remember, you can get your hands on all the music that we are playing today, including his single that's out, Bring on the Sunshine. Now, you can get your hands on that one a little bit earlier on May 18th, but the full 5-track EP will be available in June. And we're also going to have a couple of those CDs being sent to us from Blaise, and we'll be giving those away in a week or two, reminding you about such a great talent that this guy is, and his music, and just amazing. And I think you're on the right track there, Blaise. I like everything you did. It was all very different.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's what I'm trying to be. I try to be off the wall and in a different angle.
Well, I think it's nice when, not all your songs are sounding the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think people fall into that trap a lot, where it's like, oh, that's a so-and-so song, whether you knew it or not, because they all start sounding the same. But all your songs are just a little bit different. I mean, that one's definitely different than Resist by a mile. And I think that's what's going to help you get your identity of being a versatile artist, and really giving those songs different types of feel and soul, and something coming right from your heart. And I think that's I like that one. I really think that one's going to do well for you.
Thank you.
I really, really do. So you can find Blaise on Facebook, but Blaise Streets Official is going to be his website. Should be working by the end of the day today. You can always check back on my Wall to Wall Country show page. The link is there for you. And if you're listening on Wednesday, give it a little bit. If you're listening on Sunday, it's working by now, because the whole show will re-air again Sunday. So if you've already missed some of the interview with Blaise, or if you missed his music, make sure you listen to PPR on Sunday morning with the show starting at 8. Blaise will be joining the show in the second hour, and you'll be able to hear this music and catch the last tune at the end of the show, and then make sure you're paying attention, because I'll have some. Are you going to be able to sign those, Blaise, or are they just going to be coming right out?
Well.
Oh, you will?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's sweet of you, because I think I'm going to have to keep one.
Oh, well, that's completely fine with me.
All right. I love listening to my artists in my car. I mean, it's great. And people are like, "Hey, who's that?" And I can be like, "Well, I know that guy personally."
Well, that's, yeah. I hear you.
That's Mr. Blaise Streets. I'm a friend of his. Would you like to get a hold of his music? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right.
Southern Indiana boy, performed for Parmalee, Gary Allen, well on his way to being a superstar in the country music industry. I want to wish you all the best of luck, sir. I look forward to getting those CDs, and I think my listening audience will also be willing and ready to get their hands on some of your music. Good luck with everything, and hey, you know what? If you're ever in traveling in the state of Pennsylvania, make sure you guys get in touch with me, and we'd love to have you in the studio.
All right, that sounds fantastic.
I mean, I open up that.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I open up that door for all my artists. I'd love anybody who gets up in this vicinity. If you're close enough to Philly or New York, we're only a couple hours out. We'd love to have you.
We'll actually be that way in June.
Oh, okay.
So, the beginning of June. So,
well,
I'll definitely say, is this the best number for you?
No, I can. Yeah, Dawn has my information. She has my cell phone number.
Oh, okay.
And, that's fine. Get it from her, and you can shoot me a text or something, and we will do our darndest to get you on the air here. That would be awesome. Love to see you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. That sounds like a plan, Blaise. Well, listen, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I want to remind everybody we're going to play his single, which is going to be out on May 18th, Bring on the Sunshine. That is going to be coming up at the end of the show in just a little while. And if you missed any of it, just a quick reminder, listening on Sunday, you'll be able to hear the whole thing all over again. Blaise, thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Thanks for having me, Casey. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, you take care. Safe travels, and I hope to hear from you in June.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Take care, sir. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
And there you go, Mr. Blaise Streets.